Hey fam, welcome back. Tisha here, back for another Sister Wives season 19 review. This is season 19, episode 22. Love covers all wrongs. I personally don't agree with that, and I really didn't like this episode. They have dropped the ball with allowing us to know so much that I found myself being blown or bored with some of the scenes because we already know what the outcome of things are. Like when you're telling me about Pooville and the distribution of the land, I already know that they fixed it. So what are we doing here? I think there were some things that are worth mentioning. I think that Kody kind of threw the bird under the bus at some points and let us know a little bit more about his crap. But let's go ahead and get into it. Do me a favor and hit the like button. We begin this episode at Pooville, aka Coyote Piss Pass. Shout out to Tina. We are talking about the property. Spoiler alert, I already put it out there anyways. It's sold. Janelle and Mary meet up on the property to talk about their next steps. Neither one of them at this point want to be on that land. They want to sell it. They discuss how horrible the land was, how bad they were when they made this decision, that it wasn't divided properly. Janelle wants to walk away, but both her and Mary know that they deserve to get something out of this. Janelle says that she wants it to be fair, but she does admit that Mary was taken for a ride. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't understand why it took Janelle being done with Kody for her to admit that Mary was done wrong. Why wasn't things said prior to this? It just proves that all these ladies, in their own way, all of this time, were protecting this man that did not deserve their protection. So Janelle got a lawyer for Kody to fix the titles. Mary admits to questioning at some points the way that the land was divided and how some people in the family had a problem with it. Those some people are the feathers. She doesn't come straight out and say it, but there's this unspoken thing between her and Janelle that lets you know that's who they're talking about, right? She said that she got in trouble for it. Janelle admits if there was a question oftentimes that went against certain things, that Bald Eagle would act like the person who was questioning things wasn't being a team player. He would make you feel like you were bad for bringing up a question. She mentions the nest and how they gave them all this money, and that when Janelle asked for their name to be put on the title, how Kody's response was, Robin needs her estate. He told Janelle that the bird needed her estate when at that time Janelle didn't have anything. Mary at least had something. It wasn't through the family. She did it out on her own, but she had land elsewhere when she bought that B&B, whereas Janelle didn't have anything. Janelle was renting. So why is it that you were so concerned about making sure that your bird had a home, yet Janelle didn't matter? Goes to show you how little he was worried about the others, and once again how he was just focused on his bird. So Janelle admits she was dumb because she trusted him, that she ended up paying off old debts that wasn't just hers. This is insane to me. Kody didn't help her pay those debts off. Janelle paid off old debts because more than likely it was stuff that was in her name that the family utilized. She said that she paid off debts for things that the family acquired, the debts that they acquired while they were having harder times financially. Mary says, we can say we were naive, but the plan was for us always to work as a family, for there to be teamwork. They talk about what Kody is saying now. He's saying that he never loved them, and neither one of them believe that. They believe that he did love them. I think that there is a difference between love and being in love. And the way that Kody has said certain things, I do not think that he ever loved Christine or ever loved Janelle, at least not in love. I think that at one point he did love Mary, but he loved the power and he loved the patting of his ego more than he did her. So Janelle feels like he's just saying all of this because he failed, which he kind of confirms later on. Did Kody talk to somebody? Because for multiple seasons, you were saying that you don't like these ladies, that you don't love them, that you didn't love them, blase, blase, blah. And now here you are at the end saying, I just said all of that because I was mad. I actually do love them. I did love them at one point, and I just said that because, that's what happens with divorce. Sir, no. No, 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 no. To the point where in all the years that my parents have been divorced and both of them have remarried, I've never heard them say, I've never heard my father come out and say that he didn't love my mother. He actually tells me that he loved my mother and that he'll always love my mother. Just like my mother has said the same about my father. But you're sitting here acting like, oh no, it was just me being upset. I think that he took it too far. It was beyond you being upset, especially since you didn't want him let you tell it. So she says that, Janelle does, that Kody loves talking about Robin and how he found his diesel gene model and how they fell in love. Meanwhile, what he's not pointing out is the fact that he had these other women, the OG3, that were with him before the money. They were with him when he was broke. Janelle has this way, in my opinion, of saying things where if you read in between the lines, you'll see that she's letting you know what it really is, which is that he got with Robin once finances picked up, whereas they struggled. Janelle was the breadwinner. Kody was not. But she allowed him to still feel like he was the man. So she said there were times where she was holding her bra together with clothespins. And when they moved from place to another place to another place, where they went through this storm with him and she didn't. Meaning, Bird, you like to sit here and act like you went through all these things and you made all these sacrifices, but you really didn't make the type of sacrifices that me and the other OG2, so the OG3 ladies have made. I like that Janelle did this. She says, but take your diesel jeans model and just go live happily ever after. I know that when he sees this, that he's going to lose some more hairs. By the time we are done, Kody's going to have to go get them extensions again because the ladies aren't playing around. So both women at this point are fighting for this land and they hate that they're having to involve the lawyers. Excuse me, Mary admits to not knowing why she cares, but she says she's worried about what the wrath of them getting attorneys is going to be. She thought that, he'd care a little bit more about them and how this was divided. And it's bothering her that she cares, but Janelle don't care about it at all. She says, look, he said enough at this point. So what else can he say that you're worried about? She points out how that if the bald eagle was really a gentleman, then he would do the things that he told the boys that they would do, the kids he would do, told them that he would do. Because didn't he tell us that if they decided to leave, he would make sure that they were taken care of, where that's not what he's done. So Mary says both bald eagle and the bird shouldn't just keep benefiting off of the money that they've given to the family. I agree. That's when he lets us know that Mary and Janelle keep complaining about the money that they contributed to the family, but they all contributed money. They may have all contributed money, but they didn't all touch it. It does not take a genius to realize At various points, the Feather crew was tapping into the family funds when the others weren't. Janelle already said she saw them spending money on certain things, and when she would ask questions about it, she would be told that it's not anything that she needs to worry about. So, with that being said, you're lying and trying to make it seem like everybody contributed the same amount, but that's not the case. He tells us that the bird's money from her house paid off family debts. But if I remember correctly, didn't the bird have some problems and owe some money to other people even after the sale of the house? So what debts was it paying? Didn't the bird have those U-Hauls pack filled with items and were planted on the, I cannot think right now, on Coyote Pass? Didn't the bird do a short-term rental for an extended period of time that was all this extra money? So by the family's debts, do you mean the Feathers' debts? Because it wasn't the entire family's. I refuse to believe that, especially because those other ladies had profits from their own houses. They didn't need the house from the bird's profit, the profit from the bird's house, in order to take care of debts. And if there were debts, they weren't theirs. It's crazy that he does this. So the bald eagle says, you guys are all leaving. So what, you want me to take what Robin has and take from it? Because Robin, this is Robin's asset. No, it's theirs. But let me answer it for you, Kody. Yes. Hell yes. He says, the only assets I have are what were Robin's assets. They keep complaining about fairness when it's me and Robin who have dropped so much more money on Coyote Pass. Bull. He says, I paid $160,000 more than anybody else paid for Coyote Pass. This is when, TLC, I would love for you to have a clip of Janelle, Christine, and Mary responding to this. My question is, where, if he did Kody get that $160,000 from? Because Sister Wives Closet hasn't been making anything for the longest. The bird doesn't work. Y'all are paying for a nanny. You got this expensive behind house. The other ladies at this point are now putting into their own pot. They've left you. Where did you get the $160,000 from? It makes me feel like you were still taking from them. So he then throws his bird under the bus by telling us that he does want to sell the land, but Robin isn't in a place to sell it yet, so he's waiting on her. Way to go. You're really protecting your wife there. Christine says she knows Kody and how he is, and financial things with Kody sucks. She hopes that the ladies are smart and that they make sure that they divide those 14 acres 4 ways, which I believe that's what they did. I don't think it should have been 4. I think it should have been 3, but you know, it is what it is. Bald Eagle claims that he's not trying to rip anybody off, that whatever Janelle is saying is her imagination, it's in her head, because Janelle feels like, oh, I got divorced, so I deserve something. If that was my father speaking that way about my mother, and I was one of Kody's sons, I probably would have ended up on Kody's doorstep and tried to fight him. I just got to be real. I can't lie to y'all. I got to be honest, because you have bled my mother dry. You have taken funds from her. She went into her 401k. She's the reason why you all were able to move sometimes. She was the breadwinner. She looked out for your kids. She looked out for the others. And this is what you're saying? Unfair. Next, we hear about the spiritual divorce. Mary says that he was upset that he didn't get a say. Janelle's like, he's just mad because it looks bad on him. Let Baldy tell it. If he would have said something to those people, then they probably wouldn't have even given Mary a release. He would have been stuck with her. I don't understand why he thinks that. I think he just wanted to say that he would have been stuck with her. And when he said it, I said, he's awful. He wants us to know that once again, it was Mary. Mary did things. He didn't abandon her. Well, we saw that for multiple seasons, that over 10 years you did abandon her. You didn't really want to have anything to do with her. She admitted to later on there being 10 years of no intimacy and all those other things. There was no affection. You act like you were even afraid to kiss the girl, so you did abandon her. You weren't even putting her in the rotation. What else do you call it? Now I get it. Mary messed up. Mary cheated emotionally. Mary was ready to leave with that catfish. Mary still hasn't been honest about it. But I don't blame Mary. I would have did it too based on, no, I'm lying. I would have left his butt. And then I would have found me a boo and rubbed it in his face. I would have pulled a Christine. Peace. I'm gone. I'm taking proceeds from my house and I'm leaving you. And you're going to be mad because I'm going to move on and be happy and be with a guy who has more money than you. Meanwhile, you sitting here sulking because you stuck with, I don't know, having to just be a monogamous and not have all these women and children doting on you. So Janelle doesn't know what she wants to do because she still believes in this. I don't know what's going on with Janelle, but Janelle still believes in this, and she says she doesn't want to offend God. Like, she doesn't want to still be tied to him and then get into something else. But she's also not sure about the whole plural marriage thing. Mary says she did it because she kind of felt the same way as Janelle. She wasn't like Christine, where Christine doesn't believe in this at all. Christine said she had her conversation with God and that was enough, whereas they still believe in some of this stuff. So Mary says because she believes in it and because she didn't want it to be a thing where they were stuck together in eternity, she felt like she needed to do it. Janelle feels like maybe she might want to go down that route as well. And Mary told her, if you do, I'll be there with you if you need me to. Mary admits that Janelle and her were never best friends, but they both agree that they figured things out for the family. The book let us know that y'all were never best friends. Y'all should have like really broke this thing down a little bit more, but it is what it is. So we go to Christine. She's in Salt Lake. Aspen and McKelty come over to discuss Valentine's Day. Christine is excited because this is going to be her first Valentine's Day as a married woman to David. We are reminded again about how hard Valentine's Day is for polygamists. We don't care. Christine shows possible choices to her girls. We see her put on one dress. She starts to do her little sexy dance and truly is over it. She's over it quickly and she leaves. We see Christine and David go out for dinner later on. She speaks on how her confidence took a major hit when Kody said he wasn't attracted to her, but she did not date until she was okay with herself. We find out how, for the first time, she's experiencing a partner that has her back always. And she brought it up to McKelty, asking McKelty if she felt that way about her husband. And McKelty's like, yeah. And based on the question, McKelty realized, oh, you didn't feel that way with Dad. I get that Christine is close with her girls. I get that they're adults, but sometimes I don't want her to have certain conversations with them. And if she does, I don't want you to come to the television screen and let us know, because you just give Kody yet another reason to feel like you're talking crap about him. She uses this time with David to talk about Kody. I really wish that they would stop doing this. You cannot tell me that Christine spends every opportunity she gets talking about Kody. We are invested enough in Christine where we can see Christine's storyline without her even having to mention that man. We know at one point she was married to him. We know she no longer is. So let's let it go. I'm over it. I'm not even David, and I would have to tell her, like, can we talk about something else? But he's very patient with her. Looking back at it, Christine can't believe that at one point she was okay with sharing a man. Bottom line with that whole scene is, despite all the Kody talk, David loves his woman and Christine loves her man. So let's get to the Feather Crew. We are in the living room of the nest. The bird has went shopping yet again. Kody even makes reference to the fact that she's a shopaholic. Kody says a couple of things here where I'm like, do you realize that you're making us believe that everything we thought to be true? He says that they like to get their kids special gifts for Valentine's Day, more like, Robin's kids. So we don't know what the other gifts were, but we know that Precious Ariella, the princess herself, has gotten a vanity and they're putting it together. I don't care about this, especially that it's they decided to do this supposedly 45 minutes before she comes home. So the bird lets us know that, Kody likes to have someone helping him while he works, but it drives her nuts. They talk about V-Day and how often he drops the ball, and he says it was because he was always focused on the kids. That's not true. You weren't. The bird lets us know that they decided that they wouldn't be affectionate, the family did, before she even came into the family, and she always thought it was a mistake. She felt like it made Kody and the others feel alone. She says physical touch brings comfort and security to a couple. The part that she is missing is that he got to a point where he was not being physically intimate, physically touching, being affectionate with the other wives, whether it was in front of you or at home alone in their families. There is a reason why these kids are so shocked, Christine's in particular, about how affectionate David and Christine are. All of them mention it in various ways because it wasn't something that they grew up seeing. So if it was a thing where it bothered Kody that he couldn't be affectionate with his wives, I would think that when he has one-on-one time, he would be affectionate with them, but he had no desire to. We saw where Mary and Christine at various points were begging for more affection. The only person who wasn't begging was Janelle, and it's because Janelle didn't really care for all of that. Now Janelle got a little freaky side to her apparently, but she didn't care about all that. She says it was okay, the bird does, for us to fight with each other and be jealous, but it wasn't okay to show love, support, or give a tender word. That wasn't allowed. Once again, she's rewriting history. Don't sit here and act like there weren't times where we saw the wives being loving towards Kody in front of each other, even sitting on that couch. So I'm not trying to hear her new rendition. Christine points out that the feathers were in a good spot, and that's why Robin wanted it so much. Mary kind of agrees, saying that she would have been okay with it if she was in a good place with her man, but they weren't in a good place. Then the bald eagle tries to point, Mary in this negative spin. What is it with him when he talks about his wives and how he always makes them seem like they're these animals that are trying to devour him? One season, didn't he say they were panting after him? This time he's talking about Mary, and he says that she was so clingy when they got married, so affectionate, that she was all over him. Kody. Like, don't act like you didn't like it, because in the book you presented it like you both were very affectionate with one another. But here on TV, no, it was just Mary. She was all over me. She was so clingy, and she just used to always want to touch me, and I just had to put up with it. So Kody talks about how one time Mary must have been sitting on his lap. Janelle didn't like it. Rather than addressing it with her husband, she instead went to her mother and said something, and her mother came back and said something to Kody. After reading the book, it is clear that they did not ever prior to talk about what the merging of their family would be like and the do's and don'ts. And that's one of the things that I noticed that happens in a lot of these polygamous communities after reading the books, is that there's not a period where you see how it works. I think out of all of the books on polygamy that I read, the one with the Dargers, Love Times 3, they're the only one where he said that he actually tested out things before he brought in the third wife. How he actually, when he had the two, because he married the two wives on the same day, he was dating the both of them and took them both out to see how they interacted, and they actually did dates with each other too. So I feel like in a lot of these cases, these people aren't really working with one another to see if they're going to mold together, blend together. I don't know if it's gonna work. I can't think. It's late. My mind is like, woo. Okay. So Arya arrives. She's happy. This is when Kody says something, and I'm like, wow, that alone could be a say what. He says, when Ari is disappointed, she's mean to me. But when she's very happy, it's like, Dad, you're the best dad in the world. I need Kody to listen to that. take a mirror and realize that this is how you act when it comes to your children. When your children disappoint you, when those older children don't agree with the things that you say and do, you're mean to them. You're so mean to them that you've cut them off, that you've belittled them, that you've called them jerks, that you've done really, really nasty things. And I don't even think you remember doing it. Go back and watch that. But he says it like it's something cute and funny because everything she does is so cute and funny, even though she's not a little kid anymore and it's not cute nor funny. So she hugs them both. Later, Kody and his bird go out to eat. He buys her some turquoise earrings and what looks like a necklace that's turquoise too. Y'all tell me, was it a necklace? Was it a ring? Either way, there were multiple jewelry boxes on that table, and he put these items in front of that lady. This is what I need to say. Christine, boo, grab this footage. Grab this footage and go and present it in court. Because he keeps on acting like he can't give you child support for your kid, yet here he is spending money yet again on his bird. He has no problem when it comes to shelling out money for her kids, but when it comes to your kids, it's your kids this and her kids that and all those other things. He really tries to disassociate himself from them. So they talk about him going to Utah to see the kids. He says, I made an arrangement to go see Christine's girls. To see my children. Soon as you said Utah, we already knew you weren't talking about any of the feathers. So why can't you just say, I went to go see my kids that I have with Christine. I went to go see Aspen and Truly, whoever it was. Why can't you just say those names rather than making sure you distinguish that they're Christine's kids? He really does that crap a lot, and I don't like it. I don't. So he says, it turns out, my other kids are there. My other kids from other mothers. And I'm like, oh, you really don't know your kids because they hang out together all the time. The kids from Vegas come up to see them. Peyton goes there. Mary's gone there. Like everybody else is making time and an effort with each other. You're the ones who aren't doing it. I don't understand why he's surprised by this. It has long been said that the other children hang out with each other. At one point, they were trying to pull the Feathers children into it. But the bird wants to continue to isolate her kids and make it seem like your siblings don't want to have anything to do with you when they do. So he talks about having this long discussion with Aspen, where Aspen said, Dad, what is wrong? What did I do? Why don't you like me, Dad? That would have broken my heart. I don't know how old Aspen is at this time. We're going to say late 20s. Late 20s, maybe. For your adult child to say, what did I do that you don't like me? I think I would pause and reflect. It doesn't break Robin's heart, though. Robin says, that's kind of more like a confrontational thing. Shut up. That wasn't a confrontation. That was a question. That was a daughter who was concerned and trying to figure out what she can do in order to make things right with her dad. This, to me, is a great example of the disconnect there. Not just with Kody and his kids, but with the bird. The bird has this amazing way of making it seem like she's supportive of something, yet she's sitting there like the witch that she is. And she has her little spoon and she's stirring that pot. She's stirring it all right. Because why would you use the word confrontation? That's not what she was trying to get. She was trying to get clarity. She was trying to figure out why her dad is such a piece of crap without saying he's a piece of crap. Because Aspen has always been a lover of her father, even though the father didn't really seem to be that much attached to her. Aspen and and Logan were made to be adults, do adult things very early on. So I've always had a certain level of respect for Aspen. And we know that Aspen's always wanted a relationship with her dad. She asked her dad to give her away. They had to kill all those other things. Like, she's tried. They've all overextended themselves for a man that's never extended himself to them. So Kody says, sweetheart, I love you, and I always have and I always will. Your actions don't show that. He then starts talking about them having a discussion about their relationship and how it's been filtered through the view of Christine. Aspen is a grown, behind woman that is married. He should not even be mentioning Christine, but he operates from this space of how he feels about the mothers rather than how he feels about his kids. He said, I explained to her there's just a place of pain that I didn't feel welcome to reach out to everybody. Why are you in pain? And why are you making it the responsibility of your children to navigate through helping you get rid of your pain when it's not pain? What it is anger and hatred because they dare left you. Because they didn't leave you and stay in that community where you can still have access when you wanted it. He says, she's like, I never made you feel unwelcome, which she didn't because she was one of the ones who kept reaching out. The ones who seemed to kind of hold their stance more were Janelle's kids, whereas Christine's kids have always been desperate to have some type of connection with him. He says, what has happened in my life has made me feel unwelcome. You made your kids feel unwelcome. Did you invite them into your $1 million nest? Did you call them? Did you visit them? Did you go to surgeries? Did you allow them to come over on the holidays? Or did you tell Mary things like, no, you feel uncomfortable with them coming? Did you show up to film scenes with them? Or did you come around when the cameras weren't around? What did you do besides throw tantrums and refuse to talk about them? If you don't agree with him, he has a problem. He tells us, I got alienated from my children when the divorces happened. I had the assumption that, my exes weren't protecting the privacy of the breakup, that they just kept talking about it. By the time that you broke up with these women, that you all parted ways, most of these children were not children. They were young adults. Most of them already saw how you were with their mothers. They heard the things that you had to say. They heard how you called them jerks and how you said you didn't want to have anything to do with them. So this revisionist history is annoying. But Kody has learned from his bird how to be the victim. You're acting like these were little babies when they're young adults. Kody says he's different now. He's trying to develop a relationship where he's not being represented by his ex-wives. You should have always had that relationship, but you didn't do the work. See, very early on, Kody expected the mothers to create bonds with the children for him rather than do his part. Christine claims she doesn't talk trash about Kody to her kids. I don't know if I believe that, Christine. It just seems like you do. Y'all tell me what you think. She wishes he would reach out more and that he had a better relationship with them. I do believe that she does feel that way. He claims that things are getting better with his kids in Utah. Most of the kids that are in Utah are Christine's kids. Christine's kids, I've said, have always wanted to have a connection with Kody for as long as I can remember. Their level of desperation is different. I can't remember if I already said that, but that's what my notes say. He says even 2 of his boys from another mother were there, and it was a little different. I'm wondering if he's talking about Hunter and Logan. But Logan has still, maintained contact with his father. Maybe not to the degree as the others, but we know that he was at the wedding and he's been invited to certain things and whatever else. So Robin, or maybe it was Gabe. I don't know. Anyways, Robin asks how he feels about not being a polygamist anymore. Clearly filler. That chick knows he doesn't want any more wives. He already said that a while ago. He said, I did have some concerns. about, this is what she said, whether or not, having one wife, was going to be good enough for him because he has been living this other way for so long. Girl, please. She says it's been challenging not being a polygamist anymore. What exactly is different? He was operating like he wasn't a polygamist during majority of the pandemic. You should be used to it. Meanwhile, Kody feels like polygamy slapped him, that he's struggling not to be bitter about buying into it. Nobody told you had to do this. I think, and I said it many seasons ago, that Kody became a polygamist because he wanted to impress his dad. He says the last minutes of polygamy, he felt terrible. Crybrows asks if he's missing what it was like before. Baldy says, that's a loaded question. She's like, oh, 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 oh. He says he doesn't want the heartbreak of, no, not the heartbreak, the headache of a plural marriage. While the bird is still heartbroken, she says, I think there's like trauma there, but it's still a part of my beliefs. Cry me a river. He hasn't apologized to any of the other women, but he's going to apologize to the bird for how dark it got, even though he wasn't that dark with her. Even though he was being real nasty to the other ones, he's apologizing to Robin because it wasn't fair to her. He admits to having bad thoughts about them, claiming he thought about walking away from her. I do not believe that. Bird wants him to be himself again. He admits to not thinking about the wives. He'll never be himself again because those other people are gone. You're boring. You got to liven up. You got to stop looking so depressed. Even though she did look kind of happy at the dinner. I will give her that. He says, all that I said about not loving my wives and stuff, my exes, was just, like me, trying to doubt, put doubt in how I felt about it. It makes no sense. Just like it made no sense in my notes, it made no sense when he said it on TV. He says, I got my identity from them saying I was awesome. This is the truth. This right here is the truth. And telling my kids I was awesome and having my kids tell me I was awesome. He got his identity from them making his head even bigger. From them patting his ego. He said that time with Suki, it's all ego, baby. And for him it is. He says, I love them. I did love them. If I could be friendly, that'd be nice. I would be happy with being friendly. He tells the bird that he's happy to be in a monogamous marriage with her, and they both say, I love you, and that's how it ends. I didn't intend on being up here this long, but this is what it was. If there's something that I didn't talk about that you want to mention, put it down below. Yeah, this episode, the feathered crew got on my nerves. I don't know why Kody feels like he can continue to make excuses for his behavior because he's just not getting it. But you guys let me know down below what you think. Until next time.